What's up, weirdos? Back in the garden for the first garden tour of the year. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but it was time for an update, and I'll show you guys what is going on. It's been a busy spring, been a weird spring weather-wise, but I finally been able to get most of the garden planted in the last couple of weeks. You'll notice that there's some rocks along the fence over here. And that's because I had a rabbit getting in and eating all my tomatoes. So I had to redo the fence. I moved the chicken wire to the outside of the fence, and then I buried it under these rocks here. And I also added some chicken wire to the door because the rabbit was just climbing through the door. So I got that fixed, and hopefully that's the end of the rabbits getting into my garden. But we'll see. They find ways. They find ways. Those little ones, they will crawl through anything. So hopefully we've solved the problem. Anyway, I've got a lot of stuff in here. It's been a busy couple of weekends for me, but I've got most of the garden planted. And like I said, I lost probably at least a dozen tomatoes already from the rabbits, but we're just gonna power through it. I planted extras just in case this might happen. But you can see I have some shell peas in these pots over here. I'm trying something a little bit different. I've got thimbleberries over here. They've come back up from last year, and they're actually spreading by root, which is really nice. And they like this shady area, so I'm just gonna let them take over this area over here. The chamomile bed has really taken off. As you can see, it's actually ready for harvest, so I could probably take some of those at some point this week and make some chamomile tea. We've got some cherry tomatoes over here. These are black cherry and Napa Chardonnay. These really dark ones, I don't know, they always turn purple. And I added some Epsom salts to them because I think that's like a magnesium deficiency. So I don't know. But they turned purple last year before I planted them, so I don't know what the deal is with them. If we come over here, you'll notice that there is squash planted in here. It hasn't come up yet, so I don't know what the deal is there. I might replant it. I planted a couple extra tomatoes and some marigolds in here. This bed is fallow right now. I'm gonna add some cucumbers in there in another week or two. I've got banana peppers in here. I've got big brandywine tomatoes over here, along with a little row of onions. And then over here is some type of tomato. I just called it a black beefsteak tomato because I don't know what it was. It's a tomato that I tried. I just bought it at the store one time. It was really good, and I saved the seeds. So I don't know what kind of tomato it is. It might be a Cherokee purple, but we'll find out. Hopefully these grow. And then in this bed, it's just carrots and some beets. I need to weed this a little bit, but you can see the carrots are starting to come up over here. And then also some beets in here. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in there. And then radishes in this bed. I have some cucumbers that are starting to come up. We've got a lot of tomatoes and stuff coming up from last year, so I might just yank those. I might be able to save those. I might be able to transplant them somewhere, but the problem is I'm running out of space. Spaghetti squash over here, you see there's a couple that are coming up. That's good to see. Got lemon balm growing in here. And this is my prized possession this year, the strawberries. These things are loaded. I got strawberries everywhere. They haven't ripened yet, but you'll notice there's a lot of strawberries in there, and they all look pretty good. What I learned was you have to pick the flowers off the first year that you plant them, because you got to allow them to grow their roots and establish a really nice root system. And if you do that, then you'll get a lot of strawberries the next year. And so that's what I did last year. And yeah, it works. I've got tons of strawberries in here. I've also got some thyme, some wild thyme that's growing in there. And the strawberries and the thyme, they both like each other. They like to grow together. So that's a nice little companion plant. I've got more cherry tomatoes here. These are the Matt's Wild Cherry. And then again, you can see tons of tomatoes coming up in here, but this is mostly celery, or no, not celery, but carrots, and also some beets. And then more strawberries over here. These are the Everbearing, I think, and those are the June bearing. And then obviously some radishes over there, as well as some peas. These peas got mowed down by the rabbits, but they are starting to come back. I replanted a lot of them too, so we might have doubles, but that's fine. And then I've got a sunflower that came back from last year. It actually seeded itself into this pot here, so I'm going to transplant that at some point. It's going to be really hot the next couple days, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, 90 degrees is probably a little too hot for transplanting, so we'll wait until it cools down this next weekend. I've got lots of mustard, it looks like. I did not plant mustard in here, so it just kind of blew in here from the other bed. I did plant some Swiss chard, but I don't see it coming up. Yeah, I don't see any Swiss chard in here. I might have to replant that. These are just raspberries that I had extra little roots, and I just planted them and they sprouted raspberries, so that's kind of nice. Sorrel is already going to seed. That came back from last year. I planted some arugula in here not too long ago. It's starting to come up. We've got salad burnet and kale and more mustard, and then lots of lettuce, as you can see, as well as some Swiss chard. I'm not big on spinach. It really bolts in the summertime, so I usually just go with the Swiss chard. It's easier to grow, plus I think it tastes better. But this lettuce is just about ready to pick, so I might even pick some today. I don't know. That might be happening. And then I got some more lettuce in here. I just planted it the other day, so it'll be a while before that comes up. There's a little bit of grass in there. I probably should rake that out of there. And then I moved the strawberries, the wild strawberries, over here, and you can see they really like it. They're really happy over here, as well as a little bit of garlic in here. You can see I got a nice row of garlic. Hopefully that'll keep the groundhogs away. You can see there's some tomatoes starting to sprout over here. I got tomatoes that come back every year. Every year I got tomatoes coming back. And then we'll go over to the other garden. And you can see the onions. The hummingbirds really like these flowers. They've been all over them. I'm just going to let them go to seed, and then I'll cut them down. You can see I've got some zucchinis in here, as well as a bed of basil, and then cabbage. I get cabbage moths really bad, so the only way I can grow this is under these covers, and they're doing a lot better this year. I do have to weed this a little bit, but honestly, these are the best looking cabbages I've ever had. So that'll be really exciting. I've got bell peppers over here. I've got beans that are starting to come up, as well as some eggplants. I have a little bit of room over here that I might plant some bush beans in. I guess we'll see. And then we've got some nasturtiums with some watermelons. I think these are early moonbeam. I think they're yellow watermelons, if I'm not mistaken. Got some canning tomatoes over here. My kiwi vines are looking really good. These are hardy kiwis. More lemon balm and more watermelons. More canning tomatoes over here. And then another row of watermelons. More strawberries. And then more cabbage. This is red cabbage over here. And of course, the food forest it's really looking good. Each year it just gets a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer. I add a few more plants each year. The other food forest over there is looking really good. So it's been an interesting spring. Obviously, a lot of work to do. I've been just kind of knocking off the projects one by one. There's still a lot to do, but we're getting there. So anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna leave the garden tour at that. We'll do another one of these at some point in June when I have a little bit of time. But anyway, I will see you guys later. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Share it with your friends. Subscribe to get more garden videos. And of course, gaming videos. We're going to do some gaming videos this week. I have a couple missed videos planned, as well as a subsistence video. It seems like the missed videos are starting to die down a little bit, so I want to get another game in there at some point. So we'll do a subsistence video as well. So anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Goodbye.